Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, welcome to episode 311 of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's Merry Christmas with me tonight?
I am Joe Butler, and I can't believe Ebenezer taught me how to use Hammon.
I'm Michael
What is
Colby. That's JoJo reference number 1.
Okay. Sorry. Please keep going.
I'm Michael Colby, and I wish the Ghost of Christmas Future would have put me in the ground instead of playing this game.
The funny thing is, Carrie was actually going to be on this episode. I was like, hey, Carrie, we're doing a Christmas Metroidvania. He's like, oh, I'll have to check it out and see if I have time. And he never got me. And after we played it, or after you started playing Colby, I was like, yeah, I'm not even going to ask him. I don't want to make him. I was like, I already feel bad for these two that have to suffer. So we talk about World by Play on Worlds and Orbit Studio, published by Play on Worlds, whoever the hell these guys are, and came out in 2023. So it came out last year.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense than okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I knew it was a year old. Like, I knew it came out last year because I was curious about this when it came out. I had saw it. I didn't watch any reviews or hear any reviews. I just knew it came out and it was a Christmas Metroidvania. I'm like, hey, that sounds exciting. And I actually have been looking forward to playing this game all year. I'm not lying either.
That's very disappointing. That's the saddest thing I've ever heard somebody say on this show.
I've heard sadder.
I was looking forward to it. You know, I really was like, hey, this is going to be fun. It's a Metroidvania. I'm like, how bad can it be? You know, it's a Christmas-themed Metroidvania where you play as Ebenezer Scrooge from Charles Dickens, which essentially is a sequel to the Charles Dickens novel, which is really strange.
Insane. It's the most insane, like premise for a game. It's the most insane protagonist for a game. It's the most insane game. There's no reason for this game to exist.
I was going to look at what the studios had done besides this. They don't have a Wikipedia entry. So my guess is nothing.
The worst part about it is, it's not even... I don't even think that this game is bad. It's just so bland and it doesn't do anything special or interesting or especially fun. It's just sort of a game that's there. And if this would have been released in, let's say, 2010, I would have been all over this thing. But there are so many of these games now, and every single one of them does something better than this one. That this one's just like, why am I playing this?
Because some idiot who runs a podcast asked you to, and you said yes. That's why.
And I said yes. So who's the idiot now?
Now, with games like this, I think a lot of what the issue is, this game needs a little bit of fine-tuning. As much as I know we're going to make fun of it, and it is pretty, it's also not I think it's not a bad, I think it's you did the job. You know, we've gone back and forth in the thing, and I want to hear what other stuff that's come up, but like the map's not very good, but I feel like you should always have a really good. Yeah, I feel like it needed a really good Q&A team, because I feel like the team that probably made this Q&A'd it themselves and went, oh yeah, this is good enough, because it's like, oh, this game's got some rough edges. It's some pointy spots that cut your hands.
I literally ran into a glitch where one of the side bosses, that optional boss that you can fight, the NPC didn't spawn after you killed him, so I couldn't complete the quest. And so I Googled it, like, hey, am I missing something? Did I not talk to somebody to, am I missing a step in this quest? They said, no, it's a known bug. They're going to fix it soon. I was like, okay. I looked at the date. That was in 2023. We are now in the end of 2024. They ain't fixing it.
There's no way that anything's ever going to... This is the state of the game now. I doubt this studio exists anymore. I don't think they're going to be fixing anything. I just think that this is what the game is. This is, everybody always is like, oh, games were better back in the day when they shipped, the way that they came out. And it's like, no, this is what happens when games get shipped and you can't patch them or anything. When they're fucked, they're fucked. And I agree with Joe. Like I said, I don't think this game is bad. It doesn't need to
It's mediocre.
exists. It's the most mediocre. It's the most bland one of these I've ever played. It doesn't do anything special, which I think is worse. I would rather play a bad one where at least there's something to like focus on. This thing just kept reminding me that better games exist.
Here's the real question. Would you want to play a hentai one? I do have a few of those on my Steam wishlist every so often that popped up.
They have to be good. If they at least say they're okay,
I never
then
bought them.
I'll jump on them.
I took them off my wish list. I'm like, if this goes to $2, I will buy it and try it and never went under 10. I'm like, I'm not spending $10 on this hentai game. But have been because of the Metroidvanias, I'm like, how bad can it be?
Yeah.
I'll play a hentai Metroidvania.
Probably more interesting.
It has to be more interesting. Like we're gonna get into the details, but like I think everybody sort of I think like the overview of this game is you move, you get new powers, and you can get to new areas and fight new bosses. Like the description for a Metroidvania is the description of this game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I always say about Bon Jovi. Like if somebody never heard of rock and roll, you can play them Bon Jovi and be like, this was, 1980s rock music. There's nothing special about it, but it's technically rock and roll. And that's what I felt about this game. There's nothing special about it, but it's technically a Metroidvania.
So one of my mic issues. So this really pissed me off. So when we play a lot of Metroidvanias for the show, one thing I like to do is I like to look up a map, and I will usually download a map, put it on my phone so I know where things are that I'm looking for. And there is only one map that somebody made of this game that shows 100% what's on there, and you can't download unless you pay the guy $3.
What the fuck?
What?
He has it. It doesn't exist anywhere else. Only one guy made it, and it's locked behind like the Kofi or one of those things where you can tip people. That's the only way you have to buy it from him. There's no other map of anything I could find 100% if somebody went through and put where stuff is of this game. And we play a lot of games for this podcast. I look up guides all the fucking time. There's nothing for this game. I literally had to watch a long play to figure out what to do at one point because I'm like, am I doing this wrong? I was missing a jump. It was something stupid. Like I just wasn't thinking straight. But like I couldn't look up anything. I couldn't look up where a side quest was. There's nothing on this game, and I understand.
Yeah, I can't imagine playing through this game and getting 100% of the map unlocked and then being like, sure, I'll give this information out for free. I would also be like, this sucked so bad, I'm going to get paid if somebody wants to know this information that bad. Because, man, oh man. And this map, when we did Carrion, I defended the no map. I would have rather had no map in this game because this thing did nothing. The map was all but useless. In a Castlevania game, in any other Metroidvania, what you do is you look at the map and you see where there's an opening and you go to where that opening is and you remember where, the stuff that you need to go to when you get your new powers is. And this one was like big rectangles with lines attached to them. And it is a useless map.
No, hold on now, Colby. You got to give Metroid a little more benefit of that. Metroid also has the benefit of going like, hey, here's a door that needs this specific power. Or, hey, here's a door, here's an area that the door was locked and it needs like a red key. This also didn't even give you any of that. It didn't even give you the nice thing where like, whenever it's a square, it fills in each square kind of segment you've been to.
Yeah, so you know.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I haven't been there yet, or maybe I didn't get past here because I didn't have a big enough long jump or something. This doesn't do shit. Fuck for ass.
And in
that's an insult, all right. Like there's breakable walls. I didn't figure out how to break them until right before I fought the final boss. I had the power, but there was like I did a side quest and I got this ability where you could break like the floor or break walls. And by the time I figured out that I could do it, I was like, I don't give a shit to go back and go through anything. I'm just gonna go finish the game.
We're probably gonna talk the essence of what a Metroidvania is because this fucking game, I hate that. But one thing I want to bring up before I completely forget, and it falls out of my currently half inebriated brain. Mike, if I wake up one day and get on my computer and I see you playing Furry Futa Adventure, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna have to ask him about that later, and I'm scared I'm gonna have to.
Well, if he's playing it, I'm gonna be playing it too. So
I actually don't own any hentai games. Actually, surprisingly,
I own a couple, and one of them is Hentai Survivor.
the Vampire Survivor clone, isn't it?
Really bad.
I
It's a Vampire Survivors, yeah,
oh my god.
with really bad hentai attached to it.
I've only ever played one hentai game, and that was in high school, and it was downloaded illegally. So a friend gave it to me on a CDR. It was called Exchange.
What the fuck?
It was actually fun. It's a text adventure type thing where like the dating sim type things.
Oh, okay.
So
I was gonna say
I had all the
played-
endings.
I-
by the way.
I was gonna say I played one, but then I've technically played two. I have a VR porn game that my husband made me buy when I bought a VR headset. He's like, if I'm buying you a $300 VR headset, you're playing whatever game I want you to play. I was like, okay, you want to play? You're playing this game where you have sex with a dinosaur. Okay, that was weird. And then I played this other one where it's also a dating sim. This is after high school. You date girls with different disabilities. So one's missing legs, one's missing arms, one's half burnt.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one you were a guy who got turned into a girl because of a chemical, and now he's trying to sleep with all these different women.
Oh, that's so original.
I
mean,
have one called
High school brain liked it.
yeah, I have one called Sex with the Devil, where you go around hell into these different rooms having sex with different like abominations, and then you end up having sex with the devil, and it's really, I played it like way too much.
Look,
Why are we talking about hentai games?
Because we don't have what the word is. I don't know why, to be honest with you.
We're trying to kill time.
So, Ebenezer.
So the game starts off really strong. I'll give it that. Like the intro is really good.
Hey, to be honest, the idea is funny. Like, it's pretty relevant to today. Like the fact that you have like this guy who owns a factory is making people work nonstop and not paying them. Like that sounds very real. You know, I mean, I don't know if they make hoses there and they just have extra hoses lying around, but they just keep making people work 6-7 days a week anyway. I mean, I'm not sure if it's that kind of factory, but it could be. Someone out there just said, "Fuck you" to her MP3 player. By the way, so
hi Phoebe.
Hey, Phoebe's in this game. There's a tiny Phoebe.
There's in fact a tiny Phoebe in this game, and I sent it to her.
I give her so much shit. She's a good sport. But this game, this game is pretty. So I wanted to say one thing positive. Like, I do think the graphics look good. I think the art style is really good. It just also my issue with this is not it doesn't have the Vania part that I like so much in these type of games. I don't level up. So when I get lost or if I backtrack, I'm not getting experience. I'm just getting money. At least every drops money at least.
Is that the Castlevania or the Metroid part of it that lets you level up? Because I don't remember leveling up at Metroid.
Castle.
No,
it's the Castlevania part.
It's Castlevania part. The Metroids, I didn't have a problem with that because I'm more of a Metroid guy. So like this did play like a Metroid, but I'm also the opposite of what you just said. I hate this kind of art style. It reminds me of like a cheap Flash game. The run cycle has like 8 frames of animation to it. It looks so jumpy, and it also affects like your powers, like all of your jumps, like when you get the power to like grab onto that ghost and he sends you like flying over top of enemies, it's so slow that like when you get to the enemies with the shields, by the time you get behind them, you have like half a second to turn around and hit them with an attack before they turn around.
Well, you have to quick dash.
Yeah, but even that, like it just, everything feels like, I think it was you that said it at the beginning of this. It feels like a game that got tested by the people who made it, and they played it so much that they had their timing down.
Mm-hmm.
So when they were playing it, it was like, oh yeah, this is fine. But if you're somebody just coming into it to play it, you would have to play this game so much to get the timing down. And that's not fun. Like this game is not, there's nothing to this game that makes you want to play it enough to get good at it. Like, I'm sure that you could get good at it, but there's no reason to, you know what I mean?
And you know what? I think that makes even more sense because why else would you not put shit on the map if you knew the game like the back of your hand?
Yeah.
Just missing little things like, yes, you can mark to say, oh, hey, I can put a hat here. But it just would have been nice that the game would have marked stuff on your map a little bit more. Like, oh, here's a door you can't open and it's this color. Like Metroid's done it for years. Like, it's just, there's things that are really missing that would have improved this game for me. Like, I actually did learn this map after a while pretty good. I just was really upset that every time I Googled something, I couldn't find information. That really upset me, by the way.
Yeah, and by this time, Dread had come out. Like, we had a map that showed, like Joe said, what you need to open a door. If you got everything out of a room, if you were in the room. We had a map with all of that stuff in it already. There's no reason we're going backwards to a point where we're pre-Symphony of the Night map. Actually, that's not even true because Super Metroid has a better map than this.
Yeah, no, it's
in 1994.
Yeah, it did not 94. It was actually, hey, we talked about it on this podcast multiple times in the year in gaming 94. But yeah, I mean, little things like that, like why is that not there? Why is this? I mean, it's just not a very good map. I'm happy it's there because I'd rather have this map than no map. I don't care what you say. But I did appreciate it, but it was just like, it was missing something. And there were multiple times where you could go to a place that you couldn't actually traverse to, but it would mark it on your map that you went there, and you would have to kind of know, oh yeah, I can't here. Like, I remember this is a place I got to come back to. It didn't always work that way because that's why I could never find all the doors I was missing that you could break, because by the time I got the 2 side quests done that give you the ability to break them down and break them sideways, I just didn't give a shit, and I'd been everywhere.
I can also tell you too, this game very jarring. You mentioned Dread, Colby, because honestly, that's like the last Metroid game I can think of I played, and I fucking love that thing to pieces.
It's a great game, hard as fuck, great game,
hard as fuck, great game. What is it? I probably almost broke my controller on that final boss, but
that's fair.
I play Metroid games, Castlevania games, Dark Souls games. Like, I don't mind a challenge. The last boss of Dread, I died to more times than I've ever died to a boss before. But that was, I think, what I loved about it.
Yeah, but this game needed something also to help you speed through, because and it needed to be in the beginning, because technically in Dread you unlock that super early to the fast run ability. This game also needed that, because holy shit, I spent like maybe 3 hours running around the whole map going, where the fuck am I supposed to go? And honestly, if I had some kind of speed ability, I probably would have found it faster.
Yeah, it's, I've been playing Castlevania Circle of the Moon, and I was talking about how Nathan feels like he's running around in mud all the time. And that was how I felt. There is a fine line, because those Castlevania games are not necessarily the fastest moving games in the world. Like, even Symphony of the Night is slower than you remember it being. Your run speed is slower than you remember it being, but it doesn't feel bad. In Circle of the Moon and in this, it feels bad when you're running that slow. And again, it's not like a disaster, but it's worse that it's not a disaster. Like, if the movement was awful, at least then it would be something. But it's just slightly less than you want it to be, and that sucks. It makes the game so boring.
Yeah, this was, I actually played 2 hours of this game farming while recording an episode, and didn't affect the episode recording one bit. So, that's just kind of what this game was. Like, I was able to literally just sit there and farm, and I was just running through an area, killing enemies and collecting coins and not giving a shit. Because if you die, the only thing that happens to you is you warp back to wherever your last save point was, but you don't lose any of your money, you don't lose anything. So it doesn't, which is good and bad. There was a time where it pissed me off where I would go into a boss fight, use all my items, and then the game would autosave and restart me. I'm like, I don't want to autosave right now. I just lost all my items.
I think also what would have saved this is they should have had, well, I think Metroid does it to an extent, probably. They should have had all the save points be fucking teleportation stations.
I mean, they do have a decent amount of teleport stations in this game as you progress. They do an okay job. There was enough places to get with the bells to get from one place to another. Like, I actually got the hang of the whole world in this game. Like, I could run around from one side to the other without much problem. Because I played this game 10 hours. on Steam.
Yeah, that was about my play.
Would have showed me this game, but also a lot of that was farming because I just kept going through stuff to try to get everything just so I could. I wanted, because I got to a point where I'm like, I'm gonna beat this game today. Like, we are gonna go through that final boss fight, and I'm gonna have so many items. I'm just gonna tank every fucking hit, and he ain't gonna kill me. It worked, by the way.
He wouldn't have killed you anyway because these bosses are ridiculously easy.
I had a hard time with the ghost.
I think I died 4 times to all of the bosses combined. There weren't many bosses. There's what, 5 bosses? 6?
There's 3.
See, they're so few and they're so easy. I was like, I guess because the last boss has 2 phases, maybe I was counting that. But
there's Casper.
Was there an optional boss?
There's 2. Well, there's 2 optional bosses.
Okay.
But one of the optional bosses is the one that bricked my game and soft locked it. I never did get to beat him. But there's a boss in the beginning, which is the main bad guy who you fight later on, the Casper guy or whoever the fuck. You fight him like 3 times, I think.
Okay. Oh, the not Virgil.
Yes, the not Virgil, who's fought. Like, you fight him a couple times. You fight the Ebenezer, which is supposed to be Ebenezer from the future if he didn't learn that he was a piece of shit CEO. There was that. You fight the ghost form that turns out to be somebody else that's imitating him or something. There was some other boss there was a boss that gave me some trouble where I had to use a lot of health items, but there's nothing memorable about this game. Like, it's a very boring type. It's a pretty game. Like, I enjoyed the graphics, but it's like, it was missing something. Fun.
Yeah,
that's what it was missing.
Soul. It was missing a soul. Like like I said, it just kept reminding me that there were better video games out there. Like, the setting is Victorian London, so of course I'm going to be thinking about Bloodborne. You're attacking with ghosts, so I'm thinking about Ender Lilies. You're running around, like, I'm thinking about Ori because of the way that it's sort of like hand-drawn animation. Like, there's just all of these games that I'm thinking about going, boy, I sure would rather be playing something else.
You're using ghosts and you're thinking about stands. I'd rather be watching JoJo.
I could be watching JoJo. I could be playing that new JoJo fighting game that I just bought the season pass for. I could be playing that game while I'm watching JoJo. It all would have been better than playing this game. I could have been playing Circle of the Moon, and that would have been better.
At least you didn't buy this game, right? Like, you got it through Game Pass? Never mind.
Completely legal means.
Okay, I thought maybe this was on Game Pass. I was gonna, this is on Game Pass. Like, this would be a fine game for Game Pass. Like, you don't pay anything for it. Like, it's just there when you're just like, okay, I'm in a Christmas mood. I'm gonna play something Christmassy.
Yeah, if this is on a service, you know what? I wouldn't even recommend that because, like, there's always better Metroidvanias on those services. Like, I know that right now, like, Sundered, Ender Lilies are on PlayStation Plus. There's just so many of these games now. If this would have came out when, I want to say Alpha Protocol, but that's not right.
That's not a Metroidvania, but
no. We did it. It's the one where the dudes on the Shadow Complex. If it would have came out when Shadow Complex came out, I would have been like, hell yeah, this game rules. But there's just been too many of these. There's just been too many of them that you can compare it to. And it falls short in every category. I wouldn't recommend this game to anyone at this point in time.
Oh, I forget. Someone in Discord asked me, I think Phoebe's like, well, should I play it? I was like, no. Do not buy this, Phoebe. I was like, do not.
Yeah. Somebody said something earlier on the Discord, and you were like, oh, well, maybe this. And I replied, I was just like, do not buy. Somebody was asking about if it was worth $10, and it's not even worth $10. It wasn't even worth the possibility of the viruses that I'm going to get on my computer for downloading this from where I downloaded it from.
I'm watching a playthrough of it right now. I never even got, because there's 3 different spirit kids you can get, and I never got the one with the bow and arrow. I completely missed her. And I'm watching a playthrough. I'm like, oh, that was right where I was, and I just somehow missed it and didn't even realize it because the game didn't show me a square to say, hey, you didn't go in the square.
yeah, you didn't go in this square because
Because it wasn't there. Because there's a ghost of Christmas past, present, and future you can find that each give you like a little like familiar essentially.
Well,
and I found one of them, but he didn't. The familiar I had did nothing. He supposedly would heal me with mulberries, but he never healed me. So I don't know.
You had to have mulberries.
I did.
Oh.
Still didn't heal me.
Yeah, I hate those, we're gonna just auto heal you. Like a couple of games do this where it's just like, we're gonna auto heal you as long as you have healing items. What's the point? Like, I know when I need to use a healing item. Why do you have to auto heal me? Especially if it doesn't work.
It didn't work, so
That sucks. I mean,
even the platforming got a little hard in this game a few times later on. Like there was a little bit tricky platforming. And this game really likes balloons.
yeah. The platforming was since the game ran at such a weird pace, like I felt like when you jumped, you didn't have enough air control to be able to do the precise platforming that the game was asking you to do. And the balloon stuff was like always above spikes or above, something that's going to hurt you. So if you don't do it perfect, you're going to get hurt or probably killed. And it did the control of your character wasn't good enough to let you do that. And that's again something that was probably tested by the people who made the game, and they did it so much that they were like, yeah, this is great.
They knew the game. It really does. Like, the balloons are also annoying because when you jump on one, you had to watch where it went so you knew, and it was a little challenging and annoying. I died a lot in this game, too. And there were also...
I died way more doing the platforming stuff than anything else. And it's just, since I'm a Metroid guy, the Castlevanias often feel sluggish to me, and this one felt really sluggish in like the worst way possible. And and then you go back and you even if you play the original Metroid feels better to play than this one did.
Okay, I'm going to take you up on that offer. I've been looking for an excuse.
Can I interest you in Blasphemous?
I heard that game is really hard.
It's awesome.
It is a Dark Souls Metroidvania.
Yeah, it rules.
Yeah, that's why it hasn't been on the show yet. I almost put it on the show. I was like, oh, I want to play this. And I looked up and like, this game is really fucking hard. I'm like, oh, and then it did not happen.
I didn't think it was as hard as Salt and Sanctuary. Like, I had a harder time with Salt and Sanctuary than I did with Blasphemous.
Yes, but you like the Dark Souls games, and I mean, I do too, but you like challengey stuff.
Yeah.
I do not. I want a Metroidvania to hold my hand because I leveled too much. And the only thing with this game to make it easier, people are like, oh, this game is simple. You can, if you want, you can have hundreds of healing items and you have no issues if you farm enough money. But if you suck and you decide to beat every boss by playing the game of who will die first, you go through a lot of healing items. I did not dodge bosses. I just stood there and just kept hitting them and healing myself and hitting them. And we just played it that way.
And that's fine. But look, again, I played Bloodborne with you. You're more skilled than you let on. You could have dodged these bosses.
Oh, I could have. I didn't want to.
The tells were like...
Yeah, they were obvious.
3-minute long wind-ups for some of these things. And it was just like, why make your game feel and play like it does? I don't know if it was because they knew that it felt bad to play that they made the bosses so easy. And if you can tank everything that a boss has to throw at you, then that's also makes it too easy. It just, I really, really wish that this game would have given me anything. I'm also not a Christmas guy, so I don't care about Scrooge.
I don't care about Scrooge either.
It just had nothing. It had nothing for anyone.
Fear is the mind killer, Mike. You cannot let fear overtake you.
I don't know which one you're talking to.
Both of you?
Okay. I didn't know what he was saying either, so I was like, I'm not sure where he's going with this.
He was quoting Dune.
It's quoting Dune, Mike. Goddamn.
I didn't finish that movie, the new one. Oh. I went to sleep.
You know,
I wasn't in theater. I was at home on Max, and I'm like, here we go again. This is boring. I turned it off. So
See, that's your issue, Mike. You should watch the original, which is far more entertaining and better.
Hell yeah. The David Lynch one.
David
was
Lynch
so
one's
much
fucking
better.
crazy.
So good.
we'll see.
On the show next year, confirmed.
I mean, I
David
actually
Lynch
have
is
thought
true.
about, because I've never seen anything of the I've thought about, but there's so much shit I want to do, and I gotta waste time with shit like this. So hey, I don't got time.
And this
So
game,
that's the one thing that bothered me is this took up a week schedule. I could have played something else.
this is okay. I thought this game was okay.
It's okay. It's the definition of it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. And that's the worst part about it.
I mean, the graphics are pretty. The one thing I did like, so I did play this game with sound sometimes, actually. I know, right? I don't know, but I did like it when there's the floating heads go and yodel at me. My cat did not appreciate that yodeling, but I'm like, yeah, this is okay. Like, I don't know, I had sound on for this game. I don't know why. Like, I don't play games with sound, but I actually had sound for this.
I wasn't going to bring up the sound because I didn't think you would have known what I was talking about.
Yeah, it's a fair statement.
But I think I actually think that may have been the part about this game that I actually hated. No matter what I've said about this game so far, I didn't hate any of it. It was just I would have rather hated it. But that noise that those ghosts make, they do it so much and it's so annoying. And the music is so minimal. It was like the map. The music was like the map. It was so minimal as to be almost useless. And the noises that you make when you attack, the noises that the ghost makes, the yodeling that the enemies make, it's all so annoying. But if there would have been anything else in this game that would have been lighthearted, I would have been like, oh, they're trying to do something funny. But they weren't trying to do something funny. They were just, I don't know what they were doing with the sound design of this game.
No, that's completely fair. I don't really know what they were doing either. I don't know why sound was on for a good chunk of this game, to be honest. Like, I don't know why I had it on. I just did. This was a weird game for me where I also beat it. Like, I had just got done playing a Metroidvania, which you won't hear about, nor have we recorded yet. And then I played this right afterwards. So it was kind of like, I never do that. That wasn't, I kind of fucked up and just had to get shit done. Because that also kind of affected this game for me too, because in my opinion, this is a better game than the other Metroidvania that I played. The Nightmare Before Christmas Pumpkin King, this is a better game. So, I mean, that's... you hear my opinion tomorrow, but, like, they were fun at times. It just... My biggest issue is the fact that I couldn't finish side quests because I couldn't figure out where the hell they were. The game didn't really tell me. There's no guides online. Because I would have done a little bit more. I would have went for artifacts that I was missing, but none of that information is there. I mean, that's not the game's fault that the internet doesn't have more information. But to me, like, there's a reason I wait at least a year to play a game, because I want the internet to do things for me. And the internet did not do anything for me in this case. No, me problem, but it was just a weird one. Like, I did not expect there to be nothing about this game. I did not expect that. There's more guides about Nightmare Before Christmas, the Pumpkin King, than there is about this game. That's weird to me.
I've never like plugged the name of a game into Google and not had it come up with any results like this. Like
It's strange.
I've played some old games and some weird old games that like I never heard of and then go on sale for like 99 cents on Steam, and I'm like, I'll try this. What the hell? And you know, you type it into Google and it's like, what do you do at this point in this game? And 15 things come up and it's like, oh, good, fine. Yeah, but this one, I do watch this one lady on YouTube, Cannot Be Tamed, I think.
I know her, sort of. Well, I don't know her, but we're part of the same Facebook group, and she used to post stuff in there.
Yeah,
so I know of her.
She does a lot of Metroidvanias, and like I think I line up with her on a lot of stuff. And then after I finished this game, I looked up, you know, on YouTube, I just put in the name of the game and what her thing was like right up there. And then I watched it again. And I'm like, oh, I did already watch this. I forgot, like, just like I forgot this game, I forgot that she reviewed this game.
Oh, no.
I mean, this game has nothing to really like make it stand out. It's a very basic Metroidvania that the only thing is that it's Christmas theme. Otherwise, and the whole reason why it's Scrooge is because Scrooge is in the what's the word? Public domain. So it didn't cost him anything.
So there's someone out here that follows this podcast. I'm like 90% sure there's at least been one more game where Mike, you've asked me to play a game and I'm like, oh, this game's bad, and you're also like, oh, this game's bad, and I swear,
a few times.
Yeah, I swear at least the one. I have to go back and maybe see. There's at least one or two games where we've done really bad. Like it's been a really bad game, and I looked up where I was stuck and I couldn't find anything. And that's usually at least still a bad sign, though.
I can't tell you what it was, but oh yeah, there's a few games on this show that we have done that have hurt me, and this is up there. So it doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen.
Yeah, I wish there would be something to this game. I wish it would have been worse. Like honestly, I wish it would have been worse. It's all doable. If you're like the most boring person in the world and you love Christmas, this game might be for you. Like if you're listening to this and you're going, if you have discovered this podcast because your favorite game is Ebenezer in the Invisible World and you typed it into your podcast catcher, I'm not making fun of you. You are a different type of person than I am. Mm-hmm. But yes,
you're just like, I mean, I don't think this is anybody's favorite game. I just don't. This game is too bland to be somebody's favorite game.
I've met too many bland people that I think this might be this clicked with somebody in a way that I can't imagine it clicking with somebody, but I know that this is somebody's favorite game. And I'll bet you there's somebody who like types this game into Google to see who's talking about it and gets excited every time they see somebody talking about it.
But they never seen anyone talk about it yet.
Well, I found a couple reviews online.
There's a little, there's not much.
Yeah, they're going to find this and they're going to be so disappointed. And again, we're not making fun of you. Like, I can see where somebody might like this game, but you got to expand your horizon.
Yeah. Well, I also have another random question. So this game makes it look like there's 8 different canes that he can get. I got 3 throughout the course of the game. The one you start with, and I got 2 others. I'm wondering if there actually is 8, or they just made empty slots and nothing happened with it.
Oh no, Mike! I'm gonna bop you in the head. Oh,
what?
Well, if it makes you feel better, there's at least a Steam article where like that, because I did look up a walkthrough too, and someone did post like the best way to kind of do synergy for this game. So there's 4 canes, but there's also 4 other spirit weapons. I think. I want to say there's like a sword and there's a chain you can get to.
How do you get them?
You have to go back. You have to backtrack with the like a Metroidvania.
You backtrack through a lot of this game. Is it through like the stuff you got to break, like the walls and things?
No, it's just stuff you got to find. Like I found one of the canes by like swimming. One of them I totally missed, and I saw a walkthrough using it, and I'm like, how the fuck do you get that? And I found it somehow because I missed a corner because, this game's fucking stupid.
And the map doesn't really help. I mean, again, that's another simple problem. Like, this is a me problem, but why would there not somebody have a fucking map on this game besides the one asshole that wanted me to tip him on Ko-fi? Like, because if I would have had a map that said, hey, there's an item over here, I would have went and got stuff and been like, okay, this will give me an excuse to play the game to get more money so I can fight the final boss easier, and at least I'll do more of the game. And it just really upset me that some fucker had it tied behind his Ko-fi. That really upsets me, by the way. Because usually I Google all sorts of shit. There's always somebody made a map. Always somebody. This is the first time it's ever happened to me that there was no map online.
You could have had a better time getting around this game if you would have found the hurricane.
Shut up.
There's a hurricane that makes you walk faster or something?
No.
Oh. I mean, I
thought
I could see it. There was an item that you're supposed to be able to run faster. Like, you do get relic slots, which reminded me of Hollow Knight badges, where you can hold 4, and then you get different ones that you can then switch out in and out, which was fine. I just found ones that made me a little bit more powerful, or I found ones that gave me more, that, like, the money came to me, and that was all I used. So, the only time I switched out was for the final boss fight. I'm like, I'll put a few more powerful ones on so I can beat this game and be done with it.
Yeah, I got 3 canes too, and I did get the chain, and I can't tell you where it came from.
Okay, so I saw this anyways. So I saw this guy's like whole synergy list, and basically the best thing you can do, which I was a bitch and a half to find, You have to do the side quest with the dress, and you get the chick ghost that has a falcon, and then you basically save up enough money to buy the crown, and then you save up more money, and that's basically the best way to play this game. And I think,
I never bought the crown. It was too expensive.
yeah, and I think the other weapon, I want to say you can find it early too. It's like a serpent cane, because I think whenever you attack with that, the reach is farther, and I think it says when you kill enemies, you re-get back like health. So, or not health, you get back spirit magic. So that's like the best one you could use.
I had the green one I used.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. That was all I used once I got it. I didn't. But like, I thought I would have found more just by playing the game. I explored pretty well. I really tried. And that kind of surprised me. I couldn't find shit. Because I was playing this game, in my opinion, correctly. You know, trying to find items and trying to find things, and it just wasn't there. So I found that strange.
There's also surprisingly not of videos either. Like, I want to say even crazier, because you could tell this is very much a Christmas game. I was stuck, so I looked up a video. This guy was literally playing it, and I want to say where I was stuck at. He maybe played it like, I think he literally said 3 days ago, and I was like, what the fuck? So as of this moment, I don't even think he's beaten it yet, and it's like, that's weird.
I mean, it is strange not to find more stuff about this game online. We do a lot of games with this podcast, and there's usually shit online. There's nothing online, and it's really strange to me how much stuff isn't online on this game. Like, I'm still baffled by that. So, I don't know, I had an issue getting, like, I bought a few of the items that they sold in the shop. I mostly just kept buying, because you also have to find items to craft things from the shop. You have to find just different materials you get from killing enemies and breaking open places. Like, you get a bunch of stuff like that. I did do that a lot.
Yeah, I think I've said everything I have to say about this game. It's so...
If anything, the one thing I want to bring up, I like the story of the idea of, like, the ghost coming to come as Ebenezer. Hey, can you help with this one kid? Because we try to do the same thing, but it backfired because his future self gave himself knowledge of the future. So now
he's like... Was it his future or his father?
I think it's supposed to be his father, but he made it look like it was him from the future.
Okay, because it's essentially that he's an asshole businessman type of thing. It's just strange. I don't even know where to go with it.
It's weird that they would have tried to make a sequel to A Christmas Carol as a video game.
It's a fair idea, because the point of it is because I mean, technically the whole point is it's supposed to work. So I like the idea of, well, what happens if it doesn't work? I mean, you could die, or it could be worse.
I mean, Ebenezer having to go on a Metroidvania quest sounds pretty worse. You know, it's an old man. Yeah, he's got to climb a lot of stairs.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. Like, surely there is somebody younger and sprier and stronger to have gone on this, like, that had to get the same thing done to him, because...
But this is public domain. That's why it's here.
Yeah, I know that. It's just... Like, if you're going to go that far as to make a story like that, why don't you just come up with your own characters and tweak the story enough that it's your own thing? It feels like a cash grab. If they thought that making a sequel to A Christmas Carol would have been profitable, it's every step of this game is baffling to me. Like, why they made every decision that they made making this game. If you're one of the developers of Ebenezer and the Invisible World, write to Mike Albertin at gamesmymomfound@gmail.com with
the whole
screed. It's probably something like that.
Join our Discord. You can tell us there.
Join the Discord.
We'd be happy to talk to you, to be honest.
I would love to talk to somebody who made this game, because I want to know what they were thinking, and if they were the ones who QA'd this, because I feel like that's the only... I didn't think about it until you said it, but then everything made sense. Everything that happened made sense when you said, I think they QA'd this themselves.
I say that because there's another group of podcasters that I watch, and they're very, very prominent. But they said, like, back then the way they all met was there were a bunch of QA people who did QA stuff, and that's how they met. And
sorry, I have to say this before I forget. They are making another Metroidvania for you, Colby.
What is it?
Molly the Shapeshifter.
Okay, made by these same people?
Yes, same people.
Oh, okay. I was gonna I said there's one that's a dinosaur one where you play as a caveman, you're Unga Bunga, and you get in your Metroidvania weapons are like just shit you cobble together as a caveman.
So I wonder if this game will be better. Its release date is to be announced, but it's the same company.
Oh yeah, the guys I listened to were just talking about how they do really stupid QA shit, but it worked. Like, give an example, they QA'd the like, it's not new, but like the last two Deus Ex games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and one of the jobs was to see how many dead bodies you can shove into a like restroom stall before the game breaks. It's like 30.
I love how. I mean, that's what you have to do though when you QA games. You got to do just dumb shit to see if it, because someone's gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to be able to be prepared for it if you can. Like, people do stupid shit in games.
It was like that guy who put everybody from one Hitman level into the wine presser thing and squished them all. Like, somebody's gonna do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
What is that joke in the hit Ryan Reynolds movie Free Guy? It's like P to E rate or P to C ratio, and they're like, "What the fuck is that?" It's like penis to creation ratio. How whenever a person will make a penis in the game, they will. You just have to figure out the timing on it, but you don't want it to be too soon, or people get bored.
I mean, it's not wrong.
Yeah,
Totally
right.
Yeah, any game that people will figure it out. Look at Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I remember seeing TikToks of a giant robot with a dick with a flamethrower. So
okay, see, the robot with the dick wasn't the best part. The contraptions of people making functioning tractors that also had a Korok on a cross being flamethrowered is the better portion of people creating stuff from that game.
Okay. So did any of you guys notice that if you use a spell enough times in this game, it actually gets upgraded?
Yes, because a comment I saw told me that.
Oh, okay. I only saw it by
notice.
accident when I was looking up at the ghosts, and all of a sudden I saw a thing that said, "Oh, look, they're like, oh, you maxed." I'm like, "Oh, wow, that's a thing." So then I used the healing. There's one. The monk heals you. If you use the monk, he takes health away from the enemies to heal you, but it's really, really shitty. It's not useful.
Yeah, I guess I kind of figured, because once I started using the I mean that first ghost he gets pretty good, and I was like, why is his sword on fire now? And I'm like, I'm not gonna worry about it.
I didn't even notice that.
It's probably a coincidence. Yeah, if you use him enough, his sword gets on fire and he does more damage.
I did use them enough, but I didn't notice the fire part. I just noticed how time was ticking and I needed to finish this game. That's what I noticed. Like, I guess you go in an asylum, you go in like a necropolis, like you eventually go in the factory of the guy. Like, I mean, it works for a connected world. It's just not very good, but it works. I don't know. There's nothing about this game that stood out other than its pretty graphics. They were pretty. You need that the time you go through the mirrors. I thought that was kind of cool. The three girls pull you through the mirrors. That did. I don't know what it is, but that's definitely one of my like pet fears in my head is the idea of somebody pulling me through a mirror. That's one of my fears that lives in my head.
That is a plot for an entire season of Kamen Rider.
Wow. I also know it's a plot from a movie too, but I've never seen that. It was supposed to be on this podcast last October, but didn't happen yet. So
I think we're on the bad side of the mirror. So if somebody would pull you through the mirror, it would be good thing for you, I think.
I mean, considering all of us in America in 2024, I'm pretty sure a lot of us are on the wrong side of the mirror.
Yeah.
We're in the dumb timeline. We need to get out of it.
Yeah, we're on the bad side of the mirror. I don't think you should be afraid of getting pulled through the mirror.
Me being pulled through the mirror. So we have free healthcare, me smashing every mirror. Okay, you can go ahead and stop right there.
Yeah.
I'm never leaving now. But video games don't exist.
I'd take it. I'd take it, and then I'd invent video games.
There are also like walls you can break, but the only way you know you can break them is because you get one of the items you get is a compass that will show you like a little red arrow. But I mean, those are a little cool. You're a couple unique things.
I will play the next game by these people. I feel like if this was the first game that they made, like,
it is.
This is a perfectly functional, reasonable game for a first effort from a small studio. And if they take the lessons that they learned from making this game, I can see their next game being good.
It'll be on the show at some point because I'm curious. Whatever the hell it comes out. So.
But that's their chance. That's their other chance. Like, if that next game is bad, no more. But I can see another game by these same developers being good. Just not this one.
No, but this game just has a lot of little issues that just, for me, again, the map thing, I couldn't get my map because some fucker wanted his $3. I mean, hey, I would rather give Marvel Snap those $3, asshole, than give you them. So, and I do, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yes.
Less. They get a lot less money out of me now, so it's okay. They only get about $15 a month out of me. I don't. There's a pack that I thought there's a bundle that they almost got. I was looking up. I'm like, no, you don't need it. Do not buy the $10 bundle just because you want more gold. No, so I did not buy it. But like, yeah, I had to stop. I just do the gold pass for $5 on Marvel Snap. I do the season pass. That's as far as it's going. It's not going any farther than that. So I had to stop. I can't stop buying the season pass though because you do get good cards. Yeah, and Ebenezer did do the thing that all games have to do, where you have the boss fight has 2 forms for some reason. So no, you are right, Colby. Like I could have learned the patterns. I could have tried harder, but I didn't want to, and the game didn't make me.
That is perfectly reasonable of you to say. I am a learn the boss pattern type of person. I don't want to tank the hits. I want to avoid hits where possible.
Like I've beaten Metroid Dread. I've beaten Hollow Knight, legit, both of them. So like it's in me if I want it to be, but if the game isn't going to make me, we're not gonna do it. Like that's just who I am. If you're like, I'm gonna let you hold 50 of this health item, I'm gonna farm and hold 50 of this health item. Like, it's just who I am. Where Hollow Knight said, fuck you, if you don't learn to play this game, we're just gonna shit on you and beat the shit out of you until you learn. And I did learn after all.
Yep. Yeah, and that's what I like about the Metroid games. I like them. They feel good to play, and they make you learn how to play them. And you don't get your health refilled at the save spots, and you have to learn how to play it. And that's how I play these types of games. And you would have been able to, because good Lord, like I said, 3 or 4 times I died to all of the bosses that I fought. And I did fight more than 3 bosses.
And you fought them more legit than I did, from the sound of it.
And it was so easy. It was so weird to me. It was like Dark Souls 2, where the areas are much harder than any bosses that you have to fight. And that's like, what's the point of that? Like, the bosses should be the hard part of your game, not the areas, not the platforming, not anything like that. Like, give me a decent challenge leading up to a boss, and then give me a good boss fight. And this had none good boss fights.
Also, I feel like that last cutscene was kind of just slapped together. I guess they just kind of did it. I think also his mom died and became a ghost that saved them. I don't know, that wasn't really implied very well.
Yeah, that was kind of, I didn't really pay any attention to the story. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bummer. It's a bummer of a game. It's a bummer of I can't think of the word that I'm trying to think of. Just like the whole premise of the whole thing is just a weird bummer.
Yeah, no, it's disappointing and underwhelming. Like, I thought this was going to be more fun for me, and it wasn't. And I was like, I really was. Like, I'm not joking when I say I was looking forward to this game all year to play it. Like, I really was. Because I like Metroidvanias. And I know there's a lot of good ones that I haven't played. We've mentioned multiple of them on this podcast that I have never played. Like, I know there's a ton I need to get to. I like to have one Christmas theme game every year. And this happened to be the one that filled the slot.
Yep. If you thought that this had potential but fell short of what you wanted it to be, give Ender Lilies a try. I think
you want to play that.
That was the one that I thought of the most. I forget who it was, but somebody on this podcast recommended playing that.
Well, most people have to me before.
Maybe it was Nate?
I don't remember. I know Blake has. I don't think you've met Blake, but he has before. Okay. Multiple people have to me. Like, I know I should play it. I think Carrie's might have even told me I should.
And I gave it a try after somebody said something, and I really like what I played so far. And one of them that's less like this, but like I did feel like I was playing it, or like I would have rather been playing it while I was playing this, was Sundered, which is also very good. So yeah. And these aren't just recommendations for you specifically, Mike. Just anybody who's listening who like maybe played along with this game, or like feels like they want to play the game after we talk about it. Because a lot of times when somebody is talking shit on a game, I'll be like, well, now I want to play it to see if it's as bad as they say it is. And a lot of times I find that it's not nearly as bad as what they say. But this one, every review that I saw after I finished it, and again, that one that I saw before I finished it and forgot that I saw, was all like, it's just bland. So we're talking about a very bland game, and there's a lot of game that
it's a lot of game.
They just do it better.
Do we go on to questions, comments, and memories? Do you have anything else you guys want to say?
Pretty much good.
Okay. I actually got a few. I got more than I expected. So, from I watched the entire Old Blood Super replay from Mark Donahue. I have a dog named Ebenezer, and he posted a picture of him.
Aw.
And from Kevin Ray Burkhammer, it looks cool. It does look cool, sir. It does look cool. Here's a good one from William Izari. This reminds me of the Wizard of Oz RPG that they put out for DS. Yep, that's a game. Never played it, but I know of it. And from Matt Pickleton, I saw Cannot Be Tamed do a review on it. It looked all right. So, and let me see here. Okay, I got one from the official Leisure Time community from Dean Datre. I haven't played it, but I was the release manager for an Epic Game Store. I thought it looked cool. Seemed kind of like Castlevania. I mean, it looks cool. I have no idea what that means, but
so the way Epic Game Store games work, if I'm probably wrong, it's kind of the idea of like, what is it? I think it's like Game Pass, where if you get with Epic and you basically like they're publishing your game, I don't think you have to worry about your game selling bad because Epic's willing to take the hit. They say that because Epic owns Fortnite and they have what is essentially a infinite money pool.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But the downside, though, is that as far as I've known, Epic's launcher is like basically installs like spyware on your computer.
Oh, I used Epic a few. I mean, I download games every single freaking week from them. Right now, download them, but I claim them. But I have no issues with it.
If Epic was more trustworthy, I'd be fine with Epic. I'd still rather stay with Steam.
I still buy stuff on Steam. I just have Epic to get I claim my game, which I don't normally even play. But if you're going to give me a free game to claim on a digital store that does nothing but sit there in that library that I can go, oh, hey, I have that, I will claim every single game you let me. It's because my whole thing is you never know. Like I have played games that I have claimed on Epic that just come up here and there. Like you just never know. So I'm also like, why turn down a free game? You know, it's just there in your library. My darkness to it is if something happened where I lost my legs and I can't do anything. We've had a lot of, and I have, let's say I'm jobless. I have a lot of games in my library to get to if I have internet. You know, so I look at it too. You never know. So yeah, that's the dark part. But I'm always like, hey, why not? Like, what do you got? Like, I know people like, I don't want to claim stuff I'm never going to play in my digital library. Why not? That's my whole thing. Like, what does it matter? I like the thing to get bigger, especially if it don't cost me anything. All right, and then from the Metroidvania group, I got one comment. I had to translate it from Rodriguez Victor. I hope someone gets a physical. He looks handsome. I think this game has a physical, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was also had to be translated from Google, so I don't know what he was saying because I can't, read Spanish, unfortunately. And then from another Metroidvania group, from Brad Gilmartin, my favorite Christmas theme Metroidvania.
Well,
I mean, it's got to be the only Christmas theme Metroidvania, I'm pretty sure.
Say it's my favorite Christmas Metroidvania too, because it's the only one I know of.
From Basti Freeze, how much Christmas Metroidvania do you know? Yes, I don't think there's another one. I mean, well, no, okay, there is Nightmare Before Christmas, Pumpkin King, but that's not, even though we're doing it for Christmas, because we're recording it tomorrow, coming out around the time you might hear it first, before you hear this. Yeah, I can't remember, my schedule, but, I mean, that's not really Christmas themed, but Christmas in the name, so that one's more Halloween themed, but yeah, this is it. So, from Manny Valdez, it's good for what it is, but wish it was better. Me too.
I mean, we said that. We talked for an hour and said exactly what that person said in one sentence.
From Jared Kaysen, I played a bit of it, just picked it up yesterday. I'm not going to say I'm unimpressed, but I do need to get some of the mechanics figured out. I'm still in the fumbling around and dying a lot phase. From Matt Rakowski, another game I need to go back to. I was having fun while playing it and pretty funny thing to exist. I like that quirk. From Magnus Bardell, I had a major bug before I could finish it.
Oh,
and from yes,
that reminds me, this game does have I don't know if it's because I was playing on controller probably or anything else. This game has fucking issues. There are times where I just couldn't attack like at all.
Same. It happened to me a couple times. I thought it was just me.
Okay, yeah, that happened a lot to me.
I thought it was because of the version that I had.
No, it's a game.
Oh,
That's
cool.
It's a
It
game.
wasn't yours. It happened to me too, and I just thought it was. I thought maybe I was doing something wrong. And then from Adam Butler, I did a full review of it on his YouTube, which I appreciate it. I do the same thing, buddy. I appreciate it. Appreciate the hustle. From Lee Martin, this one doesn't make sense to me, but I'll read anyway. James Pond Robocod for the Christmas win. Not a Metroidvania, but it's great and will drive you out of your Christmas nut box.
Okay.
No idea if he's making fun of me or not.
James Pond is what? SNES? Sega Genesis era games?
Okay.
Like they're side-scrolling platformers. There was a couple of them.
Okay,
so maybe
that's not something I hear.
Maybe he's saying that's a better Christmas game, which I think I'm going to agree with.
From Michael Cross, played it and waited for a patch for almost a year, then came back to the game, was pretty much lost, got the plat and walked away. It's okay.
Yeah, I think you're right on that, Colby. I don't know if maybe the publisher doesn't exist anymore, or the team, or something.
The publisher still exists, but I didn't Google the publisher, but they didn't have a Wikipedia presence, which, I mean, usually most things have Wikipedia presence. We don't yet. But that's because, we're a podcast, not a game developer. So
yeah,
I do want one, by the way. I want somebody to put me on Wikipedia, please.
That's a weird one to not have any sort of Wikipedia thing for this developer.
Yeah.
I've seen it
for the publisher.
Plenty of developers with just one game.
Yeah, like it's odd to me that there's not a Wikipedia entry, because usually as a company you have something, like you exist.
Yeah.
Hell, to be a little current, I'm sure there's a Wikipedia now for Luigi Malone. So he'll go down in history.
Hero.
So a couple more for Rich Swingle. It looks like a Castlevania. I'm down. From Hollow Dream, bought day one, refunded day one. Combat is not fun, plus backdash ruined the flow of combat. From Sean Clark, I played this last Christmas. It was fine. The concept was very silly. You are not right. Yeah, so a few people knew the game.
Yeah. It's disappointingly average.
Yeah, I'm not upset that it exists. I'm not even upset that we played it. I'm a little upset that I paid more than $10 for it, but
I'm not upset to have played it. But yeah.
I mean, I'm never going to play it again.
No, absolutely not.
So, this is one of those things, I did it, I got some achievements, I beat it, and I will never touch it again in my life. So, I should give away a code before we go to Shelf Stacker Box, which you're already kind of saying a little bit. Here is your code, Steam code for Snake Pass. The code is B.
Snake Pass is fun.
Never played it.
It's like puzzle platformer where you're a snake. Pretty fun. Somebody's going to...
I know it was an early Switch game.
Yes.
It was one of the podcasts I listened to. I remember talking about it when Switch came out. All right, the code is BFRDN C2N3N4E. I think that's a 3EN. I think it's a 3 or a 0. I happen to, unfortunately, took the picture with the cursor in front of it. So try a few different things. I really can't tell you. I'm sorry. But I think it's a 3. It looks like a 3, but I can't tell because I covered it up.
Well, now it's like a game in itself.
Yeah, all I can tell you, the top part is like a circle. So could be a 6, could be a 9. I don't think it is, but hey, something like that. So good luck. I hope it works for somebody. Can't believe I did that. I just have a bunch of codes I'm just trying to get rid of, and at least this way I hope it goes somewhere. And to be fair, people will figure out codes like that, because I know I'm part of a Steam Deck group, and people will post codes like that, and people will figure it out. They will figure out the missing letters and numbers. So I'm pretty sure a lot of them are bots, but people figure it out.
And if nobody gets it, that's fine too.
People do claim the codes, actually. And I'm happy. At first I was going to do different things with these codes, and then I'm like, fuck it, let's give away on each of the main episodes. Yeah. And we'll see how long it goes before I run out of codes, and I haven't run out of codes yet.
People definitely do get them, because I tried to get one on an episode that I listened to the day it came out, and it was already gone.
Yeah. This show has listeners for a certain episode, not for everything we do. But that's fine. That's why there's so much shit. Because the one reason why I started doing multiple episodes a week is there's a show I used to listen to, well, I still do, but they now are bi-weekly, and sometimes they just skip months and don't tell anybody. Called the Geek Box. I enjoyed them, and they went through a phase where all they talked about was Better Call Saul the whole time it ran. And I wanted to listen to their show, but I could give a shit about Better Call Saul. I'm like, I want to listen to you guys, but all you're talking about Better Call Saul. You're not even having other topics. You're just an hour of Better Call Saul, and they're a podcast. Soon they hit an hour, they're done. He's like, that's it. We're done. We don't have to do this anymore. I'm like, so that's also where I follow. I got the idea to start releasing more, because I remember being sad. I was like, can Better Call Saul just end so I can hear you guys talk about something else? because I want to hear you. That's how that whole thing started. Where I'm like, this way, my goal is I always have every week you can tune in. There's something you want to listen to.
Yeah, I feel the same way about a gamer looks at 40 right now, talking about Final Fantasy.
To be fair, I think he's in the same boat with you. So I'm pretty sure he's in that same boat with you. I think he's tired of Final Fantasy too.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Bill.
I think Final Fantasy is it's a lot.
Yeah, I like his show, but
It's
like
well produced, very well produced.
I do not care about Final Fantasy, and it's like, oh, I bet I could even listen to the people on this show talk about Final Fantasy. I was wrong.
That's why I try not to do the same franchise too often too. Like I try to separate stuff. I try to separate the genres that I play so I don't get worn out. Because
yeah, probably better for your mental health too.
It helps if you play the same genre. I mean, the same type of like it can mess. Like I'll never forget. I know I told the story before, but I'll say it here again. When I got back in the game, I played Uncharted 1 through 3, and I fucking hated 3 because I already beaten 1 and 2 years ago, and I was replaying them, and I learned my lesson. Never. You have to switch up games. You have to switch up franchises. You can't, because then you will just get so bored as you continue.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
I don't do it anymore ever. I did play 2 Metroidvanias in a row, but it wasn't supposed to happen that way. But it never. That never happens. I mean, the current game I'm playing right now is definitely not a Metroidvania. So
2 bad Metroidvanias in a row.
Yeah, let's get a shelf stacker box. And Colby, why don't you lead us in?
I'm gonna invent a new thing for this, and I'm gonna put it in the bin. I'm gonna put it in the trash bin and let it go out to the curb, and then the trash people are gonna put it into their truck, and they're gonna smush it down, and no one will ever see this thing again. So I guess box if we're.
That's not the first time someone said that, by the way.
Okay.
I didn't hate it that much. I'll go next. I'm going to put it in the box though, but I didn't hate it. I just didn't enjoy it really.
Yeah.
And I don't want people to buy it because they think I recommended it. Because Phoebe was thinking about it. I'm like, no, Phoebe, no, don't do it. Like, not because I asked, not because I said it. No, don't. Like, look up other reviews and see what you think. Don't listen. I don't want you wasting money on this. And that's how I feel about everybody. Because people I know, like, if you listen to the show, you know my opinion. But yeah, this is a box. It wasn't. It's fine. It's short. If it was on Game Pass or something where you just had it, like, and you just wanted to play a Christmas-themed Metroidvania because Christmas, go for it. But if you're gonna buy this for $10, $15,
Yeah, just know that you're gonna. It was Chrysolite Stone in the Discord that asked about it, and I was like, no, do not buy.
Yeah, I would feel bad if I recommended someone to buy this game. Like, that would bother me, actually. I mean, if you buy it because like, hey, it looks interesting, you're like, whatever, but I don't want you to buy it because I said good things about it. So yeah. I'll feel bad.
Yeah, I recommended, the Game Boy Advance collection.
That's a good buy.
Because that goes on sale for $5 on a regular basis.
You get 3 good games.
Yeah, 2.5 good games.
I need to play Circle of the Moon again. And Joe, what about you? Shelf stacker box.
Well, offensively, I'd probably put this in the stack. And by stack, there's these little bit of rules. I'm not that heavy a Metroidvania person. I say that because I'm also really bad at like mesmerizing maps and stuff like that. Also, I'm slowly getting into them. I'm sure if I get there and try to replay it, it's gonna probably hate it. But I wouldn't recommend paying maybe $15. If you don't mind spending the money and you genuinely need a Christmas game to play, this is probably in that alley. But it's also going to be like you got your Christmas game. There you go.
If this was like $5, I'd be like, hey, $5, sure, what the hell? Like, I've gotten worse shit for $5, like, a variant in a snapping card game, So hey, like, yeah, but I spent $15 for this game and I regret it.
Yeah, I just bought. If we're gonna talk about 3D Metroidvanias, I just bought today for $5 the Batman Return to Arkham games, and so what I'm saying is for $5 you can get better games. Like,
yeah, you got 3.
Just don't buy this.
You got 3 amazing games, but there's also there is a Metroidvania Batman game, like 2D style, Arkham Origins, right? Blackgate.
Well, the Return to Arkham only has the 2 good Arkham games. It has Asylum and City.
You're missing one. You're missing 2 good games.
Well,
I like Origins a lot.
Origins is fine.
Origins is my favorite.
Night sucks shit.
No, disagree. Hard disagree.
I have a very hard soft spot for Night because of Jason Todd, and that's very much the reason why I give that game a pass.
I have a very hard shit spot for all of the annoying ass Batmobile shit in that game, and there's too much of it.
Arkham Knight is one of those games you got to be in the right place for. Like, when I played it, when I hated my life because my girlfriend at the time was toxic as hell, did not enjoy the game at all. But when the week I got fired from my job and had nothing better to do, it was a great game to have on the schedule.
Weird callback. So you say you don't like the driving portion. I guess that assumes why you're not playing that Mad Max game, huh, Colby?
Yeah, I
need to
also
play that.
I also didn't enjoy that Mad Max game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I want to play that game someday because I started it once. I watch a lot of YouTube videos of games you should play, and that's always recommended. So
when that game came out on 360, I had a YouTube video game review show. And,
I didn't know that.
My partner that I did that show with liked it a lot, and I could not understand why. There's like a weird car building and upgrading system in there that was like a pain in the ass to do. The combat is just another one of those Batman Arkham game style combat, but not as good as Batman Arkham game combat. And I don't, there's already games where that combat is good. I don't
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider.
I think the Tomb Raider games play like Batman for some reason. I don't know why.
They do not.
Yeah, there's not much melee in those Tomb Raider games. The Tomb Raider games are great.
The thing I get at is, which is why, like I said, we're talking about it funny enough during the Game Awards, we're all watching it. I'm the kind of guy that goes to a Chinese buffet and gets the same 3 plates every time. So if you offer me the same 3 plates, I'm gonna eat them. Batman, perfectly fine. Mad Max, I play a little bit of it. I just really need to. Usually, whenever I get started on it, it's like, oh hey, something else cooler came out, and I'm like, I think I'd rather play that. But one day I'll buckle down and play it. Those, what is it called? Lord of the Rings games. Also heard they're really good.
Which ones? You mean Shadow of Mordor?
Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor's got to be on the show next season or next year. I got to play that game.
I've heard that
Mordor is good. I like it a lot.
But I couldn't give 2 shits about Lord of the Rings.
You don't have to. There's very little Lord of the Rings stuff in that game.
All right, we should wrap this up. We should know what we're going to be talking about next week. Next week, you can hear me talk about The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. So, finally doing that game.
The game that I wish that they made a Zelda game out.
I like it.
Listen to Mike play Wind Waker and then watch them announce it for the Switch a week later. God,
it's not going to happen on the Switch. There's no way. At this point, no fucking way. The reason why Wind Waker and Twilight Princess have not been on the show, I'll say this next week, but I'm going to say it here since you brought it up, is because I was waiting for the HD collection, or the re-HD collection of them to come out. There's no way in hell those are going to be announced for Switch at this point. No way in hell.
There's no way in hell that they're ever going to port those DS Castlevania games. No way in hell.
You said that on the podcast, Mike, and it happened.
I know it did. I remember.
We did. What is it? We did The Crow, the trailer for the big ass trailer for the new movie came out. Something happened last week, and then it got confirmed. So that's what you should have done to begin with, Mike. You should have just done Wind Waker. That way they're going to announce the GameCube emulator for the Switch, and I'll be happy for like the rest of my life.
I can't see it being re-released, the HD version at this point, because Switch 2 sounds like it's coming out next year. So, and if that's the case, it's too late. We'll see. But I don't think that's why I don't think it's happening. So.
If it comes out for the Switch 2, it'll come out for the Switch as well. Because there's nothing in that remaster that would make it like unable to be played on the Switch.
No, but it would just be it would make your Switch sell better, your Switch 2 sell better. That's what I think. All right, doesn't matter. Let's go to, so that's what we're talking about next week. Let's go to plugs. Colby, where can people find you at?
They can find me on their podcast application of choice. Just type in Jack Billings Presents and you'll find our weird scripted podcast that takes place in alternate dimensions that are probably better than this one. And also you can listen to my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure podcast with the amazingly talented and also very stupid B. Hyland. It's called This Bizarre Adventure. And we talk about life and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I say that B is very stupid, not to insult them, but because we say it on the show all the time.
What were you at out in the podcast? What episode are you on?
We just did they were in a submarine. They just got to Egypt.
Oh, so you saw the monkey stand.
Oh, we saw Monkey Stand a while ago.
Yeah.
That show is so fucking weird.
Oh man, old man Joseph, you sure do crash airplanes. I hope and boats. I sure hope nothing bad happens in this submarine. Wait a minute.
That is the stupidest group of people. The group of those guys, Joseph, Jotaro, Kakyoin, and my favorite character maybe ever in a show, Polnareff, are just the stupidest motherfuckers in the world.
We started this episode on JoJo and we're ending it on JoJo.
We are, unfortunately.
And then when we do Games My Mom Found presents JoJo's Bizarre Adventure My Mom Found.
JoJo's My Mom Found.
JoJo's Stands My Mom Found.
All right. And if you enjoyed this episode, over 700 other episodes of this podcast, we do movies, comics, TV shows, games. Who knows what the fuck we're going to do? We'll listen to our giant catalog. If you want to support the show, we do have Patreon. For Little Dog, you vote in our Patreon poll. You will see 1 to 2 polls every month. So definitely go do that. Great way to support the show. Great way to affect the show and make me smile. And if you want to chat with us, if you want to suggest things for the show, if you want to be on the show, join the Discord. It's free. We're always happy to have new people join us and chat with us on there. And that's how you suggest things. That's how you be on the show.
So what's the current poll, Mike? What's the current poll?
I mean, December poll is Discord suggestions. Hellboy Swamp Thing is tied right now. So.
Oh, okay.
And I'm hoping it kind of stays that way because I promised Ken we do the Swamp Thing TV series. I've never seen Hellboy, and I probably should at some point in my life. So, yeah. I don't mind either of those two winning. So we'll see. Oh, and going to show them awesome intro and outro courtesy to Helena Hell Hasfree. You can follow her on TikTok and Instagram if you go check her out. And check out A Gamer Looks at 40 of Bill Tucker. We mentioned earlier he's just about to come back. January, he's come back to Final Fantasy VII. So soon. I'm sure he's ready. So definitely go check him out. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, rate and review wherever you get your podcast. Please, makes me smile. And I think that's everything I need to say. Oh, yeah. We will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.